but we ought to love one another. In John chapter 13, verse 34, he says, "A new command I give you, love one another as I've loved you. So you must love one another. By this all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." You know, this word love is a very misunderstood word, because the word love is totally distorted by Hollywood, triply distorted by Bollywood, and outrageously distorted by football. And so when the Bible speaks about love, we don't understand what it is. But if you look in John chapter 13, it comes at the end. He says, if you love one another, again if you love one another, then the world will know that you are my disciples. But I want you to see in the context of John chapter 13, that before that, in the early part of John 13, you all know this scripture, that Jesus stooped down and washed the feet of the disciples. He took the form of a servant. It was service. And this is the definition of love, theologically speaking, and it is an accurate one. I checked it out. Love takes the form of service. Love takes the form of service. That when we serve one another, that is expression of love. But our love is whether we feel okay or not. No, it is service, meeting the need of that person. Henry Sloan spoke about a group of Chinese pastors from interior of China, as they brought them into to England, and they interviewed them for some conference, I think. And he asked them, what is it of Jesus Christ that impressed you most, that drew you to Him? Are the miracles? Is it the miracles that drew you to Him? They said, no, not the miracles. Because in Chinese mythology, there are far more astonishing miracles that the Gospels could present. But he said mythology. Then one of the elderly pastors said, it is Jesus stooping down to wash the disciples' feet. That was the one that impressed them most. Love takes the form of service. And the best description of that love in the home, I find, is embodied in the mother. The son comes home after many months offshore. Does it ring a bell? Somebody? And the mom will prepare his choicest dinner, choicest meal, get his place ready, his bedroom ready, and get all the furniture. And the best thing, how does it involve? It takes the form of service. I remember when I was in 1978, when I went to serve in the university in Sarawak. I arrived that day. My head of department, he came and fetched me at the airport. And then when I reported on that afternoon, he said, come, let me take you to the office and introduce me to everyone. And then he gave me a basket and said, let's go to the stationery place on the office. And then he got me all that I needed and settled me at my table. And then he said, you need a place to stay. So he took me to the dormitory. That time we all stayed in the dormitories in campus, and met me there. And I didn't have a car. It will take about 15 minutes to get out of Semenggok to go to Kuching. And it was holiday, so the canteen is not open. The cafeteria is closed. And then he said, Dorai, we will take you out for dinner at 8 p.m. So he came with his family. He took me out that night, and we had dinner at 7th Mile, those of you who are familiar with Kuching. And the following day, he said, I will take you to the bank and open a bank account so that you can get your salary in. Hey, I'm 24 years old, man. I can do all these things myself. But he said, I will take you. And so he took me. And then, there we were, made all the arrangements, got my bank book. And then he said, you need some toiletries, you need a pail. Took me to the supermarket and bought me and helped me buy. I paid. And got all those necessary things. I was 24 years old. I can do this. But 6 months later, a new batch of tutors arrived. I fetched them at the airport. I took them to introduce everyone to the staff. I gave them a basket each and said, I'll get all your stationery. And then I said, tonight I'll take you out for dinner. And the next day I say, I'll take you to the bank. If you ask me if there is a affection, a feeling that was coursing through my soul, absolutely none. Dead as wood. But I saw the need. And someone had done that to me. I was able to do it to the others. Do we have enough faith? Samuel Shoemaker said, do we have enough faith that we can get it over to others? We can, if love is translated into service. If love is translated into service.